Hello everyone! My name is Juan, and I welcome you after like 45 years of absence here on YouTube to yet another Doom weapon tutorial. Today we're gonna finish what we started in the spriting tutorial. We're gonna get our hands dirty and bring that HombreSkullinazor to life. So first, go to the description and download the files we're gonna use today. Download the HombreSkullinazor Wad, download the HombreSkullinazor Files file, and if you don't have Slade, which is what we're gonna use to code, download it also. And before we begin with the Slade part, I want you to take a look at the files themselves. First, we have a raw folder where we have our raw files of my raw hands, in case you want to practice with the spriting. We have some sound files and the sprites themselves. I also want you to take a look at the names of the files. So, I recommend you use 6 letters maximum, or else Slade will chop them off. I recommend you are descriptive. For example, here in the sound files we have fire skull, which will be used when you fire the skull, and the get skull. It will be used, when you pick up, the skull, So, yeah, also the hands. For example, here we have H skull, HombreSkullinazor, the first 4 letters. Ideally, you want to name your sprites like this. Use 4 letters for the name, so H skull, right? HSKL. Then you'll use a letter for the frame. So here we have A, which is the first frame, then B, then C, then D, E, etc. So that's the frame. And then lastly we have a number, the angle. But weapons don't really use angles, so we're not gonna worry about it. The same goes for example, this pickup icon, skull A, 0. Perfect. Then we have the projectile, the missile. Here we have skull M, skull missile, then the frame A, and then the angle 0. And with that out of the way, I think we can jump into Slade and do some tasty coding. Okay, we have the beautiful Slade open. Let's get right to it. Let's go to File, New Wad Archive. This will create a new file. This is where we put our stuff, like an organizer, like a file browser. Yeah, there you go. And this is where we're gonna edit our pictures or our code or anything else. Now let's go to our HombreSkullinazor files. I've already selected them. Just drag and drop. Drag and drop, man. A bunch. Okay, I'm pretty organized. I like to keep the sound files together, the sprites together. That's important. You'll see why in a minute. Let's see what else. Okay, now we have our files. Now, sprites, they need to go in between markers to be used. If you just code and use the sprites and everything, they won't work. How do we add markers? You go to Archive, New Entry. And here we, let's type, this is the sprite marker. So 1 when it starts and 1 where it ends. So S, start. Click OK. Then Archive, New Entry, S, End. End. We want to put our sprites in between the start and the end. So for that I press Ctrl U. I select file and then press Ctrl U to bring up. And then let's select this marker and press Ctrl D for down. Down, 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 down. There we go. So now our sprites are in between the markers. They will work. And our sound files don't need to be in between markers, so they're good to go. Now let's focus on the position of our sprites. Let's see. You click on a sprite and then it will show the sprite here to your right. If you go down here, we can find different options of how to display the sprite. So we have auto, we have graphic, we have sprite. This is the one we're gonna want to use, and then we have HUD. Actually, yeah, this is the one we're gonna want to use, because then you have the HUD preview, and we can put it anywhere we want. So I recommend doing this first, so you know how they will look like actually. So for this one, let's drag it. We're gonna put it in the middle. If I am not mistaken, this first little line here represents the status bar. So you want to put it, you don't want to put it up here, because then it would look chopped off. So I usually put them like right on the line, a little bit down, just to make sure. It looks like it's pretty much in the middle. We can zoom in a little bit. Looks good. Now we save. Important. Let's go to B. And this is now like trial and error again. Seeing if they align. Let's see, let's save and let's go back to the other one. Oops, sorry. So A, our first sprite. B. This one can be a little bit to the right. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see what I can do. Let's align the skull with this middle line. So we're gonna put it here. And then we're gonna bring this dude over here. Let's see how it looks. Okay, we can bring this guy up a little bit. And that's how you do it. I'm gonna do the same for the C, the D, and I'm gonna stop, and then we're gonna do the pickup icon and the explosions. Okay? Okay, that only took me 8 hours. So we have our first sprite. This will be used when you're raising your weapon. And this will be used when you just fire. First frame of the actual fire action. Then we lift our beautiful finger and then we press on that bad boy. And this is the last one. It is a little bigger to give the impression of, you know, the weapon, like recoil, I guess. Now let's work on our pickup icon. For this, we don't want to use the HUD, but the sprite, I think. Let me see, graphic. Yeah, graphic, not sprite. So basically this middle line will be the floor. The floor, like the floor. So if you put it here, it will look like it is floating, and if you put it here, it will look very no bueno. No bueno, no bueno. So you want to put it, I think Doom puts stuff like not above the line, but just a tiny little bit below, like this. So it will really look like it's on the floor, on the dance floor, on the dance floor. So I'm gonna put it here. We'll see how it looks later. Okay, now we have the missile and the explosion. It follows pretty much the same rules as this one. So you want to put, we want to use the sprite here, view, and put it just a little below that middle center line, middle line, just a little below. So save. Let's go to the other one and see if it aligns our stuff. Let's see, bam, boonch. Okay, well, I'm gonna do this so I don't waste your precious time. So I'll see you in another 5 hours. Okay, finally. That took me 6 hours. We are going to check it out. So here we have the first frame of destruction, second frame, and the last frame. Nice. So now we have them organized, not only organized, but the sprites themselves are correctly positioned in the HUD. With that, we can really start coding. Yes. Now it's go time. It's coding time. How do we code? How do we write things? How do we say, hey Doom, I want you to do this and do that? Okay, so how we do that is with files called lumps. Basically, lumps are files that let you edit specific things for Doom. So we have a lump for sounds, where we're gonna put sounds. That's what we're gonna use first. We have one called decorate. That's where you put and create not only weapons, but monsters and decorations. Missiles also go there. We have one that's called MAPINFO. I think there we can edit like our intermission screens. So for this project, we're gonna use the SNDINFO lump. We're gonna put our sound files there and make it work. We're gonna use our MAPINFO to create a new player and put our HombreSkullinazor weapon there. And then we're gonna use decorate to actually write the code for our weapon and for our missile. So let's go to archive, click on new and new entry. This one will be the SNDINFO lump. We're gonna make sure we can use our sound files first. Really, and it's really easy also. So type sound and then info and then okay. I like lumps all the way to the top, so I'm gonna press Ctrl U, bring it to the top. Good thing is now you go to the right and view as text. You can click on view as text, and here on the text language, then you can see how many lumps you can work with. So we have ACS, scripts, we have dhacked, an old tool for hacking Doom, I think EXEs if I'm not mistaken, and a bunch of different things, keyconf language, but so for now we're gonna use SNDINFO. We're gonna put our sounds. So in order to properly use sounds, we need to create a reference to the files. These are the files, so we need to create a reference for them. And this is kind of slow. So again, click on SNDINFO, view as text. Here on text language, we're gonna select, well, I don't think this matters too much for the SNDINFO, but let's do it anyway. Click on SNDINFO. First, you type the name you want to use here on Slate, on your code. So I think what I've seen and what I actually use, is a naming convention like this. We put a weapon, if I can like write, there we go, then slash, and then a name for the sound file. So I want to do the get skull first. So yeah, you can actually put the same thing, or get skull actually. Let's name it get skull. Then you leave a space, and then you put the name of the file itself, which is get skl. I'm gonna put it in uppercase just to, so it's easier, I guess, to read and understand. So with this, when we call a function to use our sounds, we're gonna use this new name instead of this one. You don't really need to put the slash or anything. You could just go ahead and put get skull. But I think if you have a large enough wad, this will keep things organized and neat. So let's do the other one. Let's put weapon slash, and the other one is fire skull. And then the name of the file itself, which is fire skull. Oh, come on, man, fire skull. And yeah, that's it for the SNDINFO file. That's it. Now we have a reference to our sound files. So let's save, and you see this transforms, the icon changes, and the type it identifies as a SNDINFO. So that's cool. Now let's save this little file. Okay, after this we're gonna create a MAPINFO lump. That will let us create a new player class. So when you play Doom, you have a player class. I think it's Marine. What we're gonna do is create a new one, right, and replace the weapon slots. So instead of the chainsaw, we'll have the HombreSkullinazor. This is one way of doing things. I know there are a couple of other ways. I think this worked for me. I tried others, they didn't work. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, maybe for this example, I think there might be an easier way. But the hell with it. Let's get complicated, shall we? Let's go to archive, new entry. And then type MAPINFO. Beautiful. I like my MAPINFO before the SNDINFO because I have OCD or assassin. So Control U, view as text, and then let's select MAPINFO. MAPINFO. Gonna save. Now the MAPINFO lump, that will be easy breezy. This will be super not complicated. Will be we're just gonna do one little thing. That's all. By the way, I always recommend have your ZDoom wiki website open. It has everything. When I'm editing and when I'm creating stuff, I always go there and take a look. They have tons of examples, and not only that, but all the documentation. So, what do we want to type? We want to type game info. Then you open bracket, and then you close bracket. Here, the game info, we can do a bunch of stuff. Again, you can go to ZDoom wiki and find out what you can do. For our purposes, we're only gonna type the following: player classes equals, and then a string within quotations. You put the name of your new player class. So for this example, let's call it Boopy Doopy Do. Do it, bro, man. Okay. In the WAD itself, it's Hombre Doom. But we can put anything we want, basically. So now we created a new player class. Good. Very good. We have our MAPINFO lump. Now let's jump to the meat. The beefy part of the tutorial, which is the decorate lump. That we call our HombreSkullinazor let's do this. Go to archive, new entry. This one will be called decorate. Click OK, and since I like order, since I like order, I'm gonna put it here. Actually, second. Yeah, because first is doesn't matter how you organize these really. I like my stuff this way. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Now let's go to view as text. Text language. This will help us out, because then it will color keywords and stuff like that. So let's select decorate. Bam. First thing we're gonna do is assign the weapon to the new player class we created here on the MAPINFO lamp. For that, how do we do that? Well, you type actor, which means we're gonna create an actor. An actor is many things. This player class is an actor. The weapon itself is an actor. A lot of things are actors. So you go actors, then you put the name of the actor. Oh, what did we name the dude? I'm gonna save. Boopy doopy doo dude bro man. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that because whatever. Actor, then the name of the actor. Poopy doopy doo dude bro man, right? Then colon, and then we're gonna type the following: Doom player. Okay, open bracket, close bracket. This means, okay, I want to create an actor, a thing, basically, almost. Thing. What's the name of the thing? Poopy doopy doo bro man. Colon means like it's gonna inherit some qualities from Sunsen, and it will inherit from Doom player. So we'll get all the properties and beautiful things about the Doom player and just put it there on our poopy doopy dude bro man. Okay? Now we're gonna assign the slots, basically, the weapon slots. We're gonna override the weapon slots. How? Type player dot weapon slot. Then you leave a space. You put the slot number. In this case, first slot number. Then a comma, and then the weapons you want. So first we have the fist as the first slot. Yeah, the fist, and then the chainsaw. But we don't want the chainsaw. We want our new weapon, HombreSkullinazor. We haven't created it yet, but let's put the name. HombreSkullinazor. Beautiful. So again, I'm just gonna go and create the rest of the weapon slots, and I'll show you in a bit. Nice. The rest is basically the same as the default Doom player. We don't want to have him only with his fist and the HombreSkullinazor. So we put on the weapon slot too, the pistol, then the shotgun, super shotgun, chain gun, rocket, blah 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 blah. Now let's create our HombreSkullinazor. Yes. Finally, we're getting close. Okay. Same thing. How to create an act? It's an actor. So how do we create an actor? We type actor, then the name. This will be our HombreSkullinazor. And then what it will inherit from. This one will inherit from weapon. You can inherit from other things, but I guess that'll be your homework. Okay, and then this is important because we're replacing the chainsaw. We have to put this special word called replaces, and then the name of the weapon we're gonna replace, chainsaw. And then a little number, I can't remember what it's called. But if, for example, you're building your map, you want to use a number. Because with this number, you can use it and put it on the maps. So after this, we open and close the bracket. So again, we have an actor. We're declaring, we're saying, hey Doom, hey bitch, this is what's going on. Actor. And we're saying, this is his name, bitch. HombreSkullinazor. Then we're saying, yeah, I want that to be a weapon, bitch. And then you'll say, yeah, it will replace the motherfucking chainsaw, motherfucker, bitch. Wow. Sorry, I got a little bit excited. With this, we can begin setting up our properties to make the weapon work as we want to. So inside these brackets, let's write this down. Weapon dot selection order, and then a space, and then 50. Let me see. My memory is all fuzzy right now. I can't remember anything. It's been a while. Actually, it's been a while since I've worked on Doom stuff. But this will basically mean when a weapon runs low on ammo and you have to switch, it automatically switches, then this will dictate what weapon is the priority. I think lower numbers are like, nope, you leave that one for last. And higher numbers mean, no, this is important, you want to choose that, okay? Again, go to CDOM Wiki. I might be wrong on that. Sorry. Let's keep going. Another property. We want that weapon ammo use. How much ammo? Sorry. How much ammo we're going to use? For this one, we're going to use 5 somethings. It can be cells, which used by the plasma gun or the BFG. It could be a clip, like a normal ammunition, or missiles, I think they're called, for the rocket launcher, etc. But for now, okay. 5 bullets, 5 stuffses, 5 stuffses, okay? Okay. Now, let's go weapon, that ammo give. So when you pick it up, how much ammo will it give you? Say 100. Wow, that's pretty generous. Okay, stick with 100. Now weapon, that ammo type, this is where you specify, hey, I want to use clips, bullets, whatever they're called. Or you can even create your own custom ammo. Okay, this will let you do a bunch of beautiful things. For this one, we're gonna use the clip, like normal bullets. Okay. With that out of the way, let's set up our sound. The sound it will make when we pick up a weapon. So let's type inventory. That pickup sound. Oh, come on. And then, in a string of text, between brackets, we're gonna put the name of the sound we want to use. Remember, we put weapon / gets call. You had doubts, then you can save, go to SNDINFO. And this is how you use sounds. For example, if you put here this gets call, it won't work. It won't do anything. So that's one thing you wanna keep in mind. Then we're gonna go to inventory. Oh, my globe. Oh, my globe. Inventory.pickup message. In quotes. Text. This is what will be displayed when you get your weapon. So let's not be serious and let's put this thing. Boopy doopy doo dude, bro, man. Guts. HombreSkullinazor. And that will be the text that will be displayed. Now we can finally work on our states. That's where we're gonna put all our graphics and tell them how to animate all the frames and everything. So for that, let's type states, open, close bracket, and within the states, we're gonna work on our first state, which is the spawn state. When you see a weapon laying on the floor, that's the spawn state. So we type spawn, colon, meaning, okay, what's going on next? What do you wanna do? What do you wanna do? I'll type it in, and then I'll explain. Okay, what does this mean? What does this all mean? So it means, okay, for the spawn state, then we put our sprite name. So we put a name, then we put a space, and then the frame. I know here it doesn't have a space, but here we need a space. So skull, space, the frame, space, a number representing the duration. For the spawn state, we're gonna use -1, which is kind of infinity-ish, kind of. And then we stop the whole thing. So I just read on the CDOM wiki, if we put stop, but if we put -1 here, then it will keep showing it. Okay? So this -1 will act as kind of ish, an infinity-ish, ish, okay? So again, really quick, spawn the state, the name of your sprite, the frame, the duration, and then you say, okay, I want to loop or I want to stop. This one will be stop. Okay, the next state we want to work on is our select state. That's when you choose your weapon or when you pick it up. So for this, we're going to use the H skull, A sprite. For these, you want to put 1. For the duration, duration is measured in ticks. A tick is 1/35 of a second, so it's pretty fast. And then you can put a function. In this one, we're going to put a race. And then we're going to loop the whole thing. Ouch! So what is going on? We have this sprite. So every tick, it will raise the weapon a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. It loops until the weapon reaches its normal position. The same thing with the next state, which is deselect. The opposite. The yin and yang of Doom weapon stuff. So pretty much the same thing, HSkull, A, 1. But instead of a raise, we're going to put a lower. And then loop, the same thing every tick. It lowers the weapon until it disappears from the screen, and then it does whatever he needs to do, you know. Change weapons or love. You never know. Okay, so we have select, deselect. There's another really important state called ready. When the weapon raises to its normal position, it will call the ready state. What do we want for the ready state? Pretty much the same thing as we had before. The same sprite, HSkull, duration 1. Now we're gonna call this function called weapon ready. Weapon ready means, yeah, it sends the signal. Hey, everything's cool. Everything's chill, bro. Chill, bro. And then you loop. Now to the fun part. One very important state for a weapon, which is fire. Fight fire with fire. So fire. Let's work on that state. Oh, okay. Here it's pretty simple. So what do? We use the HSkull sprites. Then we're gonna do the following. We're gonna put BCD, the frames we're gonna use, space, and the duration, which is 4 ticks. And after that, we're gonna look at a new word here. It's called go to. And then let's type for this we call poopy fire. So what's going on here? So basically this. Okay, let me put a space. You can write you can write this down as what I'm gonna put right now, so you know where it's coming from. So what we're doing here is saying, okay, animate, like put the B frame for 4 ticks, then put the C for 4 ticks, and then the D for 4 ticks. If you're not calling like functions and stuff, you can write this down easier, just like this. You say, hey, B, C, D, each one for 4 ticks, and then you go on. For this example, we are gonna create a new state. You can create your own custom states. So here it's gonna show us the B frame, the C frame, the D frame, and after that it's gonna go to our new state. So let's write it down. Boop, boopy fire, colon. So here things get really interesting. So after we've shown the BCD frames, so let's kind of take a look let's see how it will look. So it will animate B, C, D, and then we're gonna call some functions here on the E, this one. Okay, it's firing. You can see it in its eyes. Let's go back here. So we're gonna type HSkull E frame, the one with the glowy eyes, and let's do this. We're gonna call the function, and I type 0 because I need to call a bunch of functions. So if you put 0, like 0 for the duration, you can call a bunch of functions at the same time. If you put 1, then it will take 1 tick to call the function, and then another tick. You don't want to waste precious ticks, okay? So we put the name, E the frame, the duration 0, because we're gonna put more functions. A play sound, that's how you play a sound. A play sound. How does it work? So A play sound, you open parentheses. Here you have a little explanation. So string sound name. Well, it's a string, so it goes in quotation marks. The name should be weapon / fire skull, right? Then a comma. The slot. In this case, we go with the channel weapon. Then a comma, and then the volume. You can see here we have other options. We're not gonna worry about this right now. So for the volume, I think the values go from 0 to 1, so 0.7. Loudish, very loudish. So there we go, we have a sound. So when it reaches that frame of the skull with the glowy eyes, first it will play a sound, which is the fire sound. Then we need another function. So is duration 0. There's one function called recoil. It's a pretty fun function. And the force, we're gonna put 4. So recoil, like I think it pushes you back a little bit. The higher the number, the more it will push you back. So we want a little, just a little bit of recoil, just a touch, just a gentle touch. Okay. Next function, E. For this, we want to use 5 ticks, and this name is kind of longy. It will be A_fire custom missile, because we will be creating our own missile. So fire custom missile. Let's see, string missile type. We're gonna create our own type. That's what I mean. This one will be simple. Let's call it poopy missile. Then after that, what's next? The angle chosen 0. You can like fiddle with it and experiment. Then what do we have? Use ammo. Yes, we're gonna use 2 bullets. Then something I can't read, but I have 0 there. And something else, I have -8. Let me see if I move this to a side, I can read all of that stuff. Come on, man. Let's put a comma there. Oh, okay. Spawn height. Oh, and the height. -8. Yeah, this is all trial and error. The spawn height is about where it looks good in your screen, or with the weapon you're using. So with that, we go to our next line, and we go to HSkull. We go back. D5, no functions or anything. And let's see, HSkull D, and then we type a 0, which means after those 5 ticks, we're gonna, without taking one extra tick, right, like at the end of the 5 ticks, we're gonna call this function, which is really important, A_refire. Okay? A refire, and then you select OK. We're gonna go, that's basically going to another state. What state? So we're gonna repeat this state, the poopy fire state. We're gonna repeat the poopy fire state. And then let me type this in and I'll try to explain yet again. So when the code reaches this part, it will say, oh, every fire. If we don't type anything, it will go, I think it will go to the fire state itself. That's like the default behavior. And we don't want that because we don't want to repeat these frames. We just want to leave them alone and only use them when we're starting to fire, not when we are refiring. So when it reaches this state, if you're still holding down the fire button, click mouse button, then it will go to poopy fire again, and it will repeat this over and over again. And when you're done and or bored firing, if it goes here and the code gets here and you're not clicking on the fire button, then it will go here. And here we're saying, okay, go to ready, and that's what it will do. Okay, and go to ready. HSkull, a weapon ready, loop, and that ends our animation. All right. I hope I've explained this decently. Yeah, it's been a while again. It's been a very long while since I've worked on Doom stuff. Now the only thing we're missing is our missile, our own custom missile. So that's what we're gonna create using this little face. Well, yeah, this little face. There's 2 little faces. So that itself is a new actor. So let's do this. The final step. We are 1 step closer to the edge. Oh, yeah. Rip Chester. Love that guy. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the skull missile. Let's type actor. The name. Here I call it poopy missile. So poopy missile. Then it will inherit from actor. Which is like a father to all actors. You know, it's like the granddaddy, daddy or something. Then the number. I think this is important here. I'm not sure. Sorry. Let's say it is kind of important, and then you open and close brackets. we have our actor. Now let's put some properties and stuff in here. First thing we want to type is a little flag. Like a property. And it's called randomize. Really quickly, according to ZDoom, it randomizes the duration of its first death and spawn frame for a blah blah blah. So it does stuff that most of Doom projectiles use. Okay, so let's stick to that. And we're gonna type decal scorch. This is the decal, yeah, that's what they called when you damage, I guess, walls and stuff. It appears burnt. So this is what we're gonna use, scorch. I think the BFG uses this one. You can also create your own decals, but for now we're gonna use the scorch. Then we're gonna say, hey Doom, hey bitch, this is a projectile, so it will behave like a projectile. Then we have some properties here like a radius. This is all kind of trial and error. I recommend again you go to ZDoom Wikia and check out, for example, the rocket. What does the rocket use, or the BFG ball use and stuff. So choose things that work. Speed 20, want it to be medium speed, and the damage, let's put 15. Now we're gonna select our death sound when it crashes. For this we're gonna use an internal sound. Weapons / plasmax. This is the sound the BFG ball, I think, makes when it hits a wall or an enemy, like ush, ush, ush. Okay, now we have our basic properties here. We're gonna work on its states. It also needs states. Missiles need states. So state, open, close bracket. It also has a spawn state. Spawn state will be this, right? Skull. We're gonna use this shorthand version of writing, AB 4. And then there's a little keyword, bright, which makes the room brighter. And then we're gonna loop. So it's gonna loop between A and B when you fire. So it will be doing. Let me grab here this bright. Let's zoom in. It'll be doing this every 4 ticks, I think. Every 4 ticks, yeah, and it's gonna make it bright. And lastly, we're gonna type in our death state, which will be, our CDE. Duration of 4 will be bright too. And then finally, stop. Wow, I think we made it. I think we've made it. Let me check it out. Real quick. We might have some little errors or something. Hopefully not, but let's see. Let's choose Doom 2, Hell on Earth. Beautiful. You see the text and the sound. Poopy doopy dude bro man got some HombreSkullinazor. We have our beautiful hand bobbing. Let's just check it out. Nice. We have our missile. Cool. Alright, wasn't that a journey? So I'm not the best guy at explaining things, but I hope you have an idea of how to make your own weapons. Not only coding, but spriting, because for example I suck. You already know that if you've watched my previous video. I suck at drawing. I can't draw. So what I do is I take pictures and then modify using the technique, the exclusive technique I showed you in the spriting tutorials, both in the GIMP tutorial and the Photoshop tutorial. And that's it. Feel free to ask questions or leave suggestions, comments, etc, etc. Oh, by the way, I have a little gift, and I'm gonna show it to you in a couple seconds. It's a super secret. It's a very secret. So, okay, let's do this. I'm gonna show it in 1, and there you go. Beautiful. And hopefully I'll see you soon in a galaxy not so far away, and not a long time ago. I don't know. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you around. Bye.